Oh, God damn it.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know why it looks like I'm frozen, but we are live.
All right.
Yeah, we are live, but my picture is frozen. That is so bizarre.
We can see
What
you
the
moving.
fuck? Uh, damn. Does it look frozen to you?
No.
We're good.
Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. We are live, coming to you live and direct. It is Friday. I am with my friends GodCloud and Dope Stilo, and we are talking on-chain music, music production, the business of music. We are recording artists, music producers, lovers of music. We're on-chain artists putting our music on the blockchains, not just one, probably as many as possible. Today, I thought I would kick us off with a little spicy topic. So here's my question, right? Cultural appropriation in music, right? So let me phrase it like this. Um, so God Cloud, Dope Stilo, if I had a song and I was like, I'm gonna play all this song, and it starts off like this, and it goes into like this whole like beautiful like Latin thing, and I start singing and I'm singing in Spanish, and it's all this like, now I'm gonna just tell you guys, I'm actually not. I'm many, many, many things, right? Many things. But one thing I'm not is Latin American, right? So I'm just curious, right? At what point does cultural appreciation become cultural appropriation? Is there such a thing, or is the whole concept of appropriating another culture actually just a way to keep people apart and actually segregate people? Is it actually sneaky racism or something? What are your thoughts on this? So, just to clarify, at what point does cultural appreciation become like overstepping the line and like
I got
maybe, become something else?
I got
Please
the
take it
answer
away.
right here. And it's super
Oh,
super
God, Cloud,
simple,
I
you
can't hear
know.
you.
Oh, God damn it. Really?
I can
Hold
hear you.
on. Yeah, okay. Um uh-oh. Well, shit. You
Can
know
you
what? Here,
hear
I'm just gonna
Maximillian?
No? Wow. Okay. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I don't know what to do now.
Maximillian, you can hear me, right?
Yeah? Okay. Hmm. Let me jump in and out. I'll jump in and out. Stilo, you take it away. I'll jump in and out. I'll be right back. But tell Maximilian what I'm doing, Stilo.
Yeah, he's gonna jump out and come right back in.
Okay, okay, cool, thanks. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, it's weird, and my screen is still frozen too. So tell me, what's your hot take, Stilo?
Hmm. Man, when I hear like if I hear a song with like remixed into some Spanish record from a Spanish record, I usually think it's pretty cool. I like how producers use influences like that. But that's just my perspective from being Latino, and then like listening to like maybe like a song like by Tyga, like that comes off to mind. Like, his songs have a lot of Spanish stuff in it, and so even yeah, so it's a lot of LA artists because it's really integrated here. So that would be mine, but that's from like a one perspective. So I don't know. I think it could be to each their own. Like some people are sensitive and have different like traumas, experiences, so they have different triggers. Music is like an art of an expression. So I'll leave it to GodCloud to really really wrap it up here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
Okay, banging, banging, banging. Sorry I had to jump out and I kind of missed what Dope Stilo was saying. Um, but how I've always seen it, because I'm an American black dude who, if you can't tell, these are all Dragon Ball toys behind me. Right there and right here too. And there's more over there. There's like 100 plus over there, and there's another 100 in the closet over there. There's probably like 200 in the other closet downstairs. And I've got my name in Japanese. on my arm. So where I think the and I hope that that's seen as cultural appreciation, just because I love, all the shit that Akira Toriyama's done, a lot of stuff from Japanese culture. Um, but I think when it becomes appropriation, and I'm going to give you the example that made it make sense to me, was when I think it was Kim Kardashian got some cornrows and was like, "Oh, hey guys, look at my boxer braids. Aren't these a fun new trend?" And everybody's like, "Hold up, you're what?" I've never heard cornrows called boxer braids before, but people were thinking like, "Oh wow, leave it up to Kim K to always come up with a new innovative fashion." Whereas 10, 15 years ago, you were a thug if you had cornrows. You feel me? So I think when it's something that was looked down upon or seen as like quote unquote not unprofessional or uncivilized this or that, but now when this particular person or culture is rocking it, it's something new, it's something fashionable. So that is appropriation right there. When it's like, hey, we're taking this, renaming it, now it's our thing, now it's funky new fashion. That type of shit is appropriation. And I think what I do with a lot of the Japanese stuff, and I got this from my Japanese homies in the finger drumming community. I started when I noticed them talking about me. I'd always see this kanji, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? They were like, oh, it's Gado Corrado. That's what we call you. That's how we say your name over here. It's Gado Corrado. And I was like, oh shit, okay, let me get that ink. Um, so yeah, and I feel like with the appreciation, there's like a mutual respect. They're like, hey, we respect you. We 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 see what you're doing, and we respect that, and we recognize what you're doing. You know what I mean? So that's my answer on it. But I'm going to share the space out real quick.
Wow. Okay. So GodCloud, you brought up something I just want to nibble on real quick. So the Kim Kardashian thing, that's interesting. So cultural appropriation in fashion is usually where I see most people talking about this, but it happens in music a lot. A fucking lot. And people don't talk about it that much. And that's okay, but I wanted to highlight it because I see like, now I uh, there's also like this argument of like how can one culture like claim something, right? That's like an issue too. But with Kim Kardashian and the braids, there's something I have to tell everybody right now. So I wasn't around when that whole thing happened exactly, but I just want to say it could also be that she misspoke because the term is actually, and now this is coming from my experience in modeling, and I modeled for hair for years, did hair modeling. I'm very close with like some of the top professionals in styling. So I know some of the words and lingos, and I'm just totally obsessed with hair because of fashion. The term is actually called box braids. It's called box braids. And if a person is rocking a style and they don't even know what it's actually fucking called, that's definitely appropriation. But because it's not, I mean, and I don't know because I didn't see, but I I'm guessing that because box braids are like these thick cornrows, and it's a certain type of like braids. I don't know. So I don't know if that, because I never heard of boxer braids. Like what the hell? That's why I wonder if maybe she misspoke and called it boxer braids when it was really box braids. I'm curious about that. But anyway, that's pretty interesting. Um, so my take on it is like there's been only a couple times where I saw someone doing something and I thought, oh, that's really annoying. And the times that was for me when I felt like somebody was appropriating instead of appreciating is when someone is full on wearing something like a costume and then also not acknowledging what it actually is. So like uh how can I let me think of something. There is something that I have seen in particular. It's almost like when people wear it like blackface, you know what I mean? It's like not just so I think about in music too, like most of the time in music I see it like someone's gonna an artist will like do a whole album in a different genre, and I just think that's so beautiful when it's genre. But I just wondered if it was something more than genre, if it was in a whole nother language. If Beyonce put out an album of Indian music and she was singing, in another language, like, do you know what I mean? Like, would it still be well received? Would it be like, she's exploring? Like, I think that would be beautiful. But I'm just, I was really curious about that. Very curious. So, without further ado, let's talk about what do you guys got going on? What's going on in your music worlds? I know there's been so much since I've been traveling and on the road.
Stilo, you want to take it since you got a hard stop?
Sure. I mean, I've been having a great week in the metaverse, in the 3D internet, in the digital realm. All these like 2D audio spaces, 3D gaming spaces. Really wrapping my head around just like the whole scene right now. The space, just the blockchain space and the 3D space. Everything is just really evolving, and everything's so early, but like it's really about to really happen. So it's like the perfect time, and I'm really wondering where to sink my feet in here. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm just wrapping my head around ideas, and a lot of intimate conversations with Chat GPT, trying a lot of AI music for fun. um got a lot of ideas, like from that even. So yeah, planning a huge festival in February, and that's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be like from like 9 a.m. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's gonna have like 20 different artists. Gonna have like virtual booths and billboards and a really dope stage with like super sponsors and platinum sponsors. So I'm just working on that right now. I'm really excited. Um, yeah, it's gonna be dope. And the Super Wednesdays that we're doing every Wednesday is always gonna be free and fun. But I wanted to plan like an event 6 months from now that just really makes an impact, and sell tickets, and really pull the trigger, and share those revenues with my fellow artists. And just create a really cool ecosystem, and create something. So. Uh, what's really on my mind is like in-game assets right now. Like that's really popular, really hot, really easy to get. Boom, you're happy. Like when we were in Twitter and we used the blockchain for the in-game asset of Twitter, the in-app asset, and you could have your PFP. I've been really wrapping my mind around that, and hoping that we could do that, knowing that we are going to do that with the blockchain and our own brands. So it's like, you could take these steps. You can have a link tree and give your data to link tree and it be easy, or you can design your own little intro page on your website and keep that data, really get all of it, and really know who's coming. So it's the same thing with this right now. It's like you could automate some really cool systems with ChatGPT for your social media presence, and have them work for you. And sure, it's hard at first, but it's once it's started, it's so dope. And so I'm looking to do that, and I've been having a lot of fun. How about
I'm
you?
so excited. Well, Dub Stilo, first of all, February, my birthday's in February.
Ow!
Yeah, that's my birthday month. And so I'm always looking to make February like the most exciting month of the year for myself. I hope I can
When's
be a
your birthday?
part of February 7th.
Wow, cool.
Everyone, February 7th, February 7th, February
Yeah.
7th. I'm a size extra small, size 2, size 4. What's up? Let's go, let's go. Accepting all gifts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever. Flowers. But for real though, so what is going to be your onboarding system? I mean, can a wizard apply? Can I apply to get in the set list? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
When you
I
gonna?
was I was, yeah, no, it's gonna be pretty much like just, any dope artist, that's ready, and willing to explore what we can do. I've seen some people make some serious stuff happen in here. I've seen $8,000 events happen. Granted, they took along 6 months, maybe 3 months, but in a team. But I've seen it. And I think right now we're not there. We're maybe at like $1,000 right now if you're like really damn good. But like maybe in 6 months from now it could change, and things could spice up a little bit. So let's see what happens.
So when you
Let's,
talk about dollar amounts, are you talking about like total ticket sales, or what's that
well, yeah,
figure
yeah.
that you mentioned?
Yeah, so I think the metaverse right now, like you can't sell tickets to the event, but what you can, because what you can do is have people come for free and then sell ad space and sponsorships, and if you can like implement that whole system right, and you could really win, especially starting now. So I'm saying free event, maybe it's $1. Maybe in 6 months from now, I max out every Wednesday, and you just are dying to go. And maybe it's $1 to do this festival, but there's a $50 package if you want a logo in there, and then a $500 package if you want the logo on the stage, the prime spots, etc. So just planning a lot of stuff, how to really create this thing, and then I'm really wanting to learn Unity and Node programs and like Unreal, so I can like create assets for myself and create my own worlds and stuff. You have to meet Rick the Rula. He's an amazing individual. We'll have him. We'll try and have him on next week. And
Oh, that'd be great.
yeah, he's super dope. You have to meet him. He's like incredible. He's creating a really dope world right now, and it's just blowing my mind. Everything he's doing, it's incredible. Really nice.
Fuck! Well, I cannot wait to meet this guy. And
Yeah.
well, let me spill a little of the Galfa tea over here since we're in the metaverse world. And Stilo, one of the reasons, so friends who are tuning in earlier when we were off air, GodCloud was sharing and I was sharing, and we were talking about how we get our best ideas in the shower. And earlier this week, I got one of those great shower ideas, and I had to get out of the shower soaking wet and like text Stilo. I was like, I gotta talk to you because in the shower is like where sometimes your ideas coalesce and everything. So
Yeah.
I already told you I had an idea that I wanted to share with you. For friends who've been following me for a long time, I've been talking for a long time about creating this game, but I didn't really tell what the theory or was the game or anything like that. But because I was still like working out the details and everything, but I'm so close now, I feel comfortable talking about it a little bit. And so my game, the premise is a roller skating adventure.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're
Nice.
going to see, thank you. I have some art that's coming out, and it features different Pepe characters at the roller skating rink. It's
Nice.
got, yeah, it's all like cool skates. It's all about like crazy looking skates, crazy looking fashion. And of course, when you're at the roller skating rink, what are you listening to? You're listening to music,
Music.
right? And so, I'm so proud of my friend of Stilo and how he's been streaming all this time. And I am a person who I really love to partner with friends. And from the very beginning, I knew I wanted to work with Stilo, and I was wanting to come up with an idea that is complementary, something that we could do together that would help each other. And I felt like this is a perfect alignment. He's doing concerts. I got this roller skating game. It's music, it's skating, it's these things. And I'm building it first with Unity because in-game assets, like Stilo said, is totally where it's at. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
so
There,
yeah.
there was a workshop at a metaverse conference yesterday. It was insane, by the way. Web3 Leaders Summit. Look it up. Hashtag. It was super dope. But the Third Web did a workshop for 20, 30 minutes, and you can integrate Third Web into Unity now. So it's insane.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So for friends
game
who are
changer.
listening, right? For friends who are listening who are curious and they're like, what the heck is Third Web? So Third Web is like a very user-friendly drag and drop interface that allows you to do things like create cryptocurrency tokens that you can use for engagement or payment inside your system or like any other thing else. It allows you to make smart contracts that do things like, deliver assets automated. Even if you have very little coding experience, you should be able to do something inside of Third Web. So this integration is really special because when you're working inside of Unity, and just for friends who don't know, Unity is a platform that we use to take something like, for example, a free play world, let me go backwards a little bit. When we're building games, right, the first thing that we do is kind of just like a child would put things in places. These items don't really have any life. They don't move, they don't really do anything. You have to add all this interactivity, and Unity is that platform that allows us to add interactivity and things like this for gaming. It allows us to actually bring the game alive and tell the program when the player gets near, make this asset do this, or make this asset appear or disappear or whatever. Like all the game mechanics are defined inside of Unity. So I just like to give that little alpha for
Nice.
people. Yeah, sweet. GodCloud, how do you, I know you're like totally into like all this anime, and I know that you love music, and I'm just curious, are there any games that you play?
Honestly, no. And you probably
Me
can't
neither.
see it, but I've got a PlayStation 2 right here. That skinny thing right here, that's my PS2. Like dude, if I get caught up on a game, y'all ain't gonna
Yeah.
ever see me again. Like,
Yeah.
hold on. I'm about to trip y'all out. Cause look, I've got you see this right here? Y'all know what that is?
Yeah. It's a memory card.
This is a PS1, PlayStation 1 memory card that has my perfect game of Final Fantasy VII on here, amongst other things like Spyro the Dragon. I was cooking on this memory card. I still have it, and I I can't. If I start playing Final Fantasy VII again, ain't no bills gonna get paid. Baby gonna be hungry. Uh-oh, I can't hear you, Maxximillian.
Because I forgot to put my microphone arm down.
Oh, there we go.
But speaking of hungry babies, what's up with your drip house drop?
Okay, so basically what I've been doing is I've been putting out my finger drumming videos. I've been grouping them all together because I realized that on my social media, as I post so much, that a lot of the, it'll be like some comedy stuff, then my music stuff, and some comedy stuff, and my music stuff. So I'm kind of putting all my finger drumming stuff together on Drip House and allowing for people to collect and get some perks too. And I'm also offering limited use licenses too for the ultimate one. So there's 10 of the, I guess, the legendary. So, okay. So the rarity goes common, rare. So the commons go to everybody. That's like an open edition, right? Then there's the rare ones, which I have about 100 of those. Then there's the legendaries, which there's only 10. So for the people who get those, they can use the music in a limited license format. And that means you can do what you want with it, but you can't like get paid with it. You can't like go like dropping the stuff on like Spotify and whatnot. And also other people can use it too. So it's not like an exclusive to just you because it's 10 people who can get it. So you want to get it, you fuck with it, put it in the background of your videos, do whatever you want with it. But if you do want to use it like in a song or whatever, we're gonna have to talk. But that's all in the stuff there. And also too, I found a small little cache of my second CD. My second CD that I dropped in 2014. I found like they were just wrapped up in like a plastic bag. Um, so I'm giving those away to whoever can donate 100,000 droplets. You get a copy of my second album. And what else do I have? Oh, that's right. And if whoever can donate, this is only going for 5 people, but whoever the first 5 people to donate 50,000 droplets will get a soft copy of my last EP that I dropped before I put it on my website, because I'm about to just drop the shit on my website in the next few weeks. But GodCloud on Doomsday is going to be awarded to the 5 people who can donate 50,000 droplets. So again, Drip is a different platform. It's really, really unique. So if the stuff I'm saying isn't making sense, droplets are like their native token there, which you can collect every 6 hours, or you could purchase some. I just found out that you could just go on and just straight up buy some too. So yeah, so you have to either collect your droplets by showing up every 6 hours, or you could buy some droplets. And I don't know the exact conversion rate right now, but yeah, so that's my drip drop drap.
That's dope. That's dope.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So just I know we talked about this before, but I just want to extrapolate. So when you say if people want to use it, when you're talking about your drop, just to clarify, the drop itself, these are these like full mixes, or is it like mix and stems, or what is it what are people actually receiving when they're getting your drop?
So you're getting videos. You're just getting videos.
Okay.
But if you want to get the audio out of it, you can do the stuff with it. But that's only for the top ones. It's only for the top 10. But again, if you if you can show me like, hey, I've collected it, I'll send you the wave file, the MP3, whatever you want. But funny thing, I don't have a lot of my finger drumming videos like stemmed out because when I make them, I kind of do it like on the fly right then and there. And I guess I could go back and export the drums individually, but I don't have all of them like stemmed out and ready to go. So I guess it's my bad, my fault, y'all. But yeah, but you could use some cool GodCloud music in your videos, whatever you're trying to do. Is I know people need music, and if you want to take it further, we can have that conversation. Let me know. I like to. That's something that I did back in the day too, with a lot of my finger drumming videos. Like, hey, if you buy it as an NFT, I'll send you the stems, or I'll have it in like a Google Drive folder in the unlockable section. I did that from like my first 4 or 5. Well, I think my first 5 videos, only 4 of them were like finger drumming videos, but I offered the stems with those. So kind of doing a callback to that right now.
How do you feel about the blockchain, like the NFT space right now? Maybe music NFTs. Do you know anybody that's selling any, or how? Have you dropped anything or
Yeah.
collabed with anyone lately?
He's asking
Well,
the hard questions. He's asking the hard
yeah,
questions, GodCloud.
and I love it. I welcome that shit. So right now I have done a collaborative series which I'm working on releasing now, and I tell you what, I'm just gonna be completely candid here. I wanted to drop it on Drip, but the way that they are set up, they didn't really um they weren't able to do it like how I wanted to do it. Because I wanted to just have like a set price and be like, hey, this is how much this costs. Because I wanted to, make sure that I got a certain amount, the artist got a certain amount, plus I'm including the physical with it too. So I needed to make sure I got, recouped on that as well. But they don't really have a way for me to say, hey, this costs this. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Because they have it's like a donation based ecosystem over there, which is cool, but I just wasn't expecting that. So I'm kind of pulling back, and I think I'm going to go again back to my website. You guys were talking about just doing stuff on your website, which I think is kind of the way
Gotta
to go
own.
right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, that's the way to go right now. And to your question
Yeah,
about like what do I
dude.
think of the space, I think so I'm going to explain what I've seen happen and why I think that is, really pertinent to what's going on right now. So I think back in the day, we were also, maybe not all of us, because I kind of was. I'd say that I was like 60-40 thinking this. But when the PFP thing was popping off, that seemed to be the way to go for most musicians. And if you look at anyone who's like a successful musician in the space, they either dropped the PFP project or were making the music for a big PFP project.
So
You know what I'm saying?
true.
Right?
Ooh.
Right? There's
Damn.
I
Now I wish I dropped a PFP project. I didn't even think
r-
about it. I was like,
dude
damn.
that
I
yo
thought about it, but I don't know. I don't want to have too much, and I want to stick to music. But it would have been nice because I'm sure all of us here in this stream right now had like like I remember people having dope Stilo Music Club PFPs. Just because
sure yeah.
they loved it so much, they loved the vibes, and like people, I didn't ask them to. They literally rocked it. So like I could have sold like a butterfly like kind of PFP member thing or something, super member, for sure.
But yeah, man, and I think that once the PFP uh game, I guess, started to decline, that's when the musicians were kind of like, well, what do we do? Then sound popped up, and sound I feel really catered to a certain group. Like I'm gonna be straight up. I feel like they picked their top 10 and were like, this is who we're fucking with. This is who we're pushing. This is who we're rocking with. You know, that's what's up. Because uh, I haven't seen as many people making big money off
Well,
of sound like
dude,
versus the PFP shit.
yeah, when I saw Sound having spaces with someone, they're like, "Oh, we just sold out in 10 minutes," and then they had a Twitter space the next day and there was like 5 people in there. And I'm like, "Dude, they're totally I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but I just felt like
I'll
that
say
was
it.
not.
It sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when you manipulate like the blockchain, to look like the wallet's hot.
That's terrible. You know what? I am not against money laundering, but fake record sales are wrong.
But how bad was everybody drooling to get on Sound XYZ though? Like, you know what I mean? That marketing, like, unfortunately, it made everyone drool and be like, "I want to sell out in 10 minutes. I wish." And then they opened public and nobody sold out like that. But I mean, there might be some success on there. I'm not really sure. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm just saying, like, for me, in my experience, I could be totally wrong.
I don't think you're totally wrong, Stilo. And I know I was using a joking tonality, but let's just rewind to what I said. I have nothing against money laundering, but fake record sales are wrong because it misleads professionals into thinking that the market is a way that it's not. And
yes,
it's and that is it's not good for the business. It's not good for so many reasons because it creates an environment where nobody knows where the floor is. And no one can really extrapolate any valuable data when people are behind the scenes manipulating the that what that really was. and
Hmm.
and so it's like, how can we, and like, I don't want anyone to stop what they're doing. If someone has found a way to make money with music, like I say, I have nothing against money laundering, but presenting an artist as though their sellout is based on the merit of their music or their work or community engagement, at what expense are people pumping their bags? So what do you think about this? How do we wanting to create or establish a healthy environment, right? How can we do that? And just to clarify, I want to just share this with everyone right now. When I see people doing things in the space that I don't like, it's hardly ever my impulse to stop someone doing anything, even if it's something that I don't agree with, because I'm a goddess and I want everyone to do whatever the fuck they want to do because I am. And if someone tries to stop me, I'm going to try to kill them. So I never try to stop people from what they're trying. Oh, I will. So I never try to stop other people from what they're trying to do either. But what I will do is I will establish my own playground next to theirs or whatever. I don't have to play over there. I don't have to stop your bags, but I'm going to create a situation over here. So if other people feel like me that over there is not good or toxic or not helpful, there's another playground and they can come over here. And if everybody kind of, you know, finds a place where they feel comfortable, nobody has to feel threatened. Nobody really has to starve or whatever. But I think the problem is that if there's just this one playground where the favorites have already been chosen and nobody else is building anything else, how can it, I don't, to me that's not the way, you know? And it's hard
No.
when, yeah, when people are buying into things that they don't understand too. And I think a lot of that happens as well. It's like these albums that are selling out in 10 minutes, just curious. And I don't know who the artist is and we don't have to say, but I'm just curious. Did you listen to the music?
No, and I don't remember the artists.
Okay, well, I guess that's good because since we're talking trash, but I was just curious, like if it was, I was curious, like, was the music good and like did it have a vibe, Sometimes because sometimes uh
Oh,
someone, yeah.
actually, I do remember some. The music was good. It was good. It had a vibe. It was cool. I liked everything. I liked how it was presented as well. I did like everything, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, and you
okay,
know what
that's
else
dope.
I noticed too on sound was that a lot of people were, so Stilo, you were saying that there was like only a few people in these spaces, but I can remember people would be buying like 20 copies of a song so they could resell them later. You
Right.
know what I mean? So that was going on a lot too. Um, and again, like, sorry, I'm getting freaking messages from my kid's school. But I think, oh my god, my kid's going to school. I'm getting old. But what I noticed was huge about all of this. I'm gonna tie it back up. Was that if when with NFTs before it got away from being like, hey, I'm a creator, I'm creating something that's exclusive, and we're using this database to basically keep track of these digital assets and add add scarcity to them, or to maintain scarcity rather. That's what it was initially, but then it got to the point where, hey, I'm taking my craft, my art, and pegging it to this currency, to this cryptocurrency that could possibly get you rich. So if you spend 20 now, in 10 years it might be 2000. That became the ethos, and that's when we started seeing that shit, like what I'm talking about, of people buying 10, 20 copies of
Now,
all that shit.
I gotta say, I think that's really sexy. I love that. I love that concept. And I just have a couple questions
Me
if
too.
I may. Yeah. So like were people inspired to buy multiple copies because the album was only going to be available for so long, or because there was only a limited number that was going to be printed?
It could have
I
been
don't
either
know.
or. It could have been either
Yeah.
or because a lot of people had like, a limited mint where it was like only available for 1 week or whatnot. But I think like for me, I remember someone buying five of mine, and I was like, wow, because he wanted to resell them later, and it is. I also have a strategy where like once I hit 120, we double the price. When we hit 360, we go to point zero one to point zero two, then point zero two to point zero like 3, and then it goes to point zero five at like 700. So I'll just like create more pressure, and then yeah, I don't know. There's so many little different strategies.
I have a strategy that I've been working on. It's already in progress, but I haven't like announced it, released it because kind of like the thing that happened where I got the final piece in the shower the other day, Stilo. There's still like some there's still some little pieces missing. Maybe after another few showers I'll have it all together, but this thing
Mm.
that this thing that I'm working on, it's like this. So, I created a song. The song has a token. And what I'm exploring is if you want this song. So I'm going to release the song like through DSP, right? So it's going to be on Apple Music and all these places, okay? Maybe, right? This is what I'm thinking. Like I would like for it to be in all the places, but there's an opportunity to buy the song's token, and it's on a bonding curve. So when you first hear the song, if you're like, "Damn, this shit is hot as fuck. This shit gonna blow up," right? Go buy the song token. And the only way for people to buy this, this is what I say, I'm still massaging the details because if someone can buy it on Apple Music, then maybe they will. But my idea is I would like people to buy the musical token. And every day or every week, I think every 24 hours is probably best, I will airdrop like the nice high fidelity version of the song, like something really nice, to all the people who own the musical token. What's special about this is that this these tokens, when it gets to a certain level, it's going to automatically go onto the main market, right? And so it'll be on the public market, and other people will be able to like buy into the token, at which point people could sell their tokens for like more money. It's kind of like the sound situation, except for it's just always a token from the beginning. It's never the song itself, just the token, if this makes sense. So like imagine instead of someone buying 5 copies of your song, they would buy however many tokens where each token represents your song. So like, hi. So like as hi. So like yeah. So like for example, if you bought like 20 song tokens and your friend is at your house listening to the song, like, man, I love this song. You could just send them the token, and then like in the 24 hours, I'll actually airdrop them their own copy. So does this make sense a little bit what I'm saying? What do y'all think about this?
Nope. Oh, I'm chewing a cookie. But no,
She's
that's
cute. Ah.
oh, yeah, just taking off. But no, you know what? And that's see, I like. Oh, you taking your cookies back? Okay, she brought me cookies. Now she's taking them.
Oh.
Guess that's the way the cookie crumbles, huh? Like, I feel like that's a quality use of blockchain, rather than just being like, hey, here's this thing on chain, buy it with crypto. Now it's a music NFT. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like that. That's interesting.
It's a
And
good
because
system.
it's on the bonding, sorry, I was just gonna say, and because it's on a bonding curve, like those tokens that you own, they will increase in value without you doing anything. That's all I was gonna add. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Stilo.
Yeah, it is a good concept. It's great. I would say like I feel like it would be it'd work really well with like a big group, like a big group. I think like us as artists, everything we do, we kind of have to like apply pressure in a sense of like not frontal pressure, but like I think like we talked about this before, but like selling out a small amount, like creating like a step, and
Okay.
then leveling up like that step and going, with the same theme, kind of just keeping it simple, keeping it small, but like, can you create some heat right here? And like the blockchain is a tool. Like if we do sell out, that's like a good look for us, even if it's five, like that's insane. Like you tell anyone of your friends, hey dude, I sold 5 NFTs, I sold out like of my song. That's pretty impressive, and it's a good just first step. I think like just these little first steps to increase like demand, and I think that would have more people at my digital concert the next week. I you know uh and so like you just gotta be really good with timing and everything that you're doing, and like what you're doing, follow the data. Does it create people? Does it create residents? Does it create a conversation in your chat, whatever platform you're streaming onto? If it's not, then try another platform or try another time. Try looking at the different categories that we're using: gaming, music, just chatting, metaverse.
Well, Stila, you bring up some interesting points to look at for creators. One thing that came to my mind as I was listening is how many, and uh, e- each of us only knows ourselves, but there are a lot of musicians and recording artists, I think, who don't have clear set goals. And I think that's part of the problem. So, Stilo, one thing I know about you is like you have your goals, like how you talked about, I'm going to have this many. And when it goes to this number, I sell this many, it's going to double. Like you have these steps laid out. And I just want to tell you, I think that's so wise. I love the idea of um, smaller steps. It's amazing because, in order for someone to take advantage of like the wisdom that you just shared, they would also first have to have some goals established. Like,
hmm
Ooh,
Yeah,
like,
and I wanted to Because I created the whole 999. That was my first campaign
Mhm.
that has success. It's 120
Let me.
copies sold. So I'm like, I can't just stop or let it fade and create a new NFT and focus on that. Sure, I can make some fun little collectibles, which I have. I've made like editions of 10 of like some popular songs that people keep requesting. So they're there, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is Bonita, the one NFT that got that really got me to perform in New York, that got me in spatial, that got me in Web 3. I found Web 3 and it gave me that feeling. So it gave me the feeling to, hey man, explore Latin, your Latin side. This is a global audience here. Things times are changing. People want to dance more and listen less. So it's a whole new vibe, and I'm gonna focus on. I think the digital concerts I really recommend, like a digital meetup. For any brand, once a week, once a month. But you create the deeper the connections you can create with people, I think the deeper the trust and that goal that you really desire would be thrusted upon.
That's amazing. I have a question for you, Stilo. So, like, if somebody wants to have their community meetings in your space, is that something you're open to? Because a lot of people maybe listening would be like, I wish I could do that, but I don't have a space or whatever.
Oh yeah, but that's totally, that kind of defeats the purpose. You want to spatial makes it so easy to have free templates, and a lot of places have free templates. Nifty Island, spatial is nice because it's a bit more professional. It's more focused on the conversation rather than like battle royale. But Nifty Island, it's pretty easy to build out on there, and it's actually really smart to have both. And but like have a home. Everyone has a metaverse, and like for that's kind of their home base. You could have like vacation homes. Like I could have an island in Nifty Island and be like, okay, like let's go play some battle royale, guys. Um, you know, so right now I'm averaging like 25 people like in the space at once max, but like when I get that to 50, like you don't know what, see, like that's another form of pressure right there. Like if I can get it to 50 and you can't even get in on Wednesdays, like what kind of pressure does that create for me? And then like I could, pass that on to the NFT and block token gate it. And token gate the second half of the event or the first half of it, like with Bonita. So that Bonita is that long term goal that I'm digging at, and I know I'm gonna work at and sell it out. That's why someone went, they're like, oh, I had to go buy another one because, etc. Because they know I'm going to do this long term. But yeah, that's the goal right now is to create pressure and demand, and for me right now, my tool is the 3D internet. The blockchain is not, I'm not so, I'm not really in pockets with people in the PFP space, which is where most of the sales are coming from. I haven't really seen music NFTs moving. I've seen more like NFTs that mean something move. So
Mm.
I'm like, okay, let's have Bonita mean something. It's my first, project on Ethereum. It's my first beginning. It had 120 plus sales, so let's go rock with that. Let's keep that going. Let's sell it out, and then throw a physical concert and see what happens. I bet you some people will fly out from everywhere to just come to LA and perform, or and check it out. If it sells
Mm.
out, they own one and it's free.
Yeah, and see, I think what you said right there is it. You said NFTs that means something, but what's that mean? That means story.
Yeah.
All of this stuff has to have a story to it, and I think we got away from that
Yes.
at one
Amen.
point. And people are so. And I always bring this up because this shit really like offended me. Like I was like, "What you mean?" But I was in a space with another musician. He's pretty popular in Web 3. I got chocolate chips in my teeth. But she goes, how do we get the PFP people to start buying our, like, that was like the room was, how do we like cater to the PFP crowd, and how do we get in with them and start? And I'm like, listen, yo, Like, what were you doing before this? Were people not like rocking with your stuff before Web3? Like, what were you doing then? Do that now. Like, we might have to mix it up a bit, but figure out how to tell your story and make it make sense to people so it connects with them. You know, we don't need to chase PFP projects to sell in Web3 music, you know? And if you're not selling in Web3 music, pivot because Web2 music is still a thing. It's still a thing.
Yeah, the whole thing about people wanting to collaborate with large communities, like it's really smart. Um, just business wise, as a speaker, when I was going through some training as like a public speaker, like it's a whole different world, like the keynote speaker world. It's like a whole other world. But the number one alpha is use other people's audiences, right? And so in a way, it's like that same strategy is like, okay, I have a product. Let me find other people's audiences that that are aligned. The only thing I see that's kind of, is like the PFP communities, they're all brought together by so many different things. So it's not really a cohesive audience. And I think that's why, using this as a strategy to deliver music to people is seems a bit abstract. Like some people join a PFP community because they want to network. Some people join because they like the art. Some people do it because they're just trying to make a bag. And I feel like the strength in the strategy of using other people's audiences is that you understand what the audience is. You understand the
Right.
target audience, right? And the thing about the PFP communities is from the very beginning, it was only about creating a bag. Nobody gave a fuck who joined the community. There was no filter. There was, it's just like, do you like blue squiggly lines? You're in. You know,
Fucks
you
with
know what I'm
that.
saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's enough. And when you and because these communities, you're there for the vibes, you're there for the bags, or you're there for the networking, the connections. I think pretty much that's it. When I say art, that's vibes. That goes in the vibes category.
Yeah. I was
you
gonna say
know?
no one's there for the art. Like
But you know what I mean? Like here, let me give you a for instance, right? Here's somebody there for the art, right? Let me think. Jimena, right? Jimena Buenavida, right? She
oh
has
yeah.
you could totally be there for the art.
For her stuff, but see, I wouldn't put her in the PFP
Okay,
category.
okay, well, I would. And the reason why
Yeah.
is because her collections is like fucking 10,000 generated things. It's not
Okay.
like the ones that, that's what I've seen. It's like if you have a 10,000 piece collection, whether it's a face or not, to me, that's the same energy as PFP. People are coming for, like I say, all the different reasons. They're coming for the vibes or they're coming to make a bag, you know. But it's not the same as here's another for instance, right? This is an instance where it would work. So for example, if there was a community, for example, our friend CG producer, right? So CG has a Discord and it's all about music production, and so on. It's a community now, it's not a PFP community, it's just a community, but it makes sense to me for a musician or a music product or platform or protocol to target a community like that because the target audience is
Right.
already unified by something that's related. And so that's kind of like what I'm trying to say. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No, you make it. Yeah. No, that makes all the sense because that's kind of what I've done with my drum machining and my sample pack stuff. Like I'm tagging Akai, I'm tagging Reason, you know, and getting through their communities to get to the people who I guess I'm also part of their community. So no, that absolutely makes sense. But as far as like if you're not saying, hey, let me make a theme song for your PFP project, then that, being like, hey, PFP people buy my stuff, please. That I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. Hmm. Well, there is power in numbers. I feel like, being affiliated with a community that has that many followers or members, uh, probably that's like a flex that you could use to translate into other things like get sponsorships and these kinds of things. So I can see how, how that's really valuable for sure, because it allows you to do bigger things. And so this is like one of the questions that was on my agenda today is, so we're all independent musicians, and but there are certain things like Stilo mentioned that he wants to do live performances, right? And I actually have a similar desire too. I'd like to have a stage at Lollapalooza, not just for myself, but for,
Oh my
my
God.
whole group. What?
We should totally throw an event in LA. Easy. I'm
Yeah.
writing that
We
down.
want to,
Okay. Keep
okay.
going. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Right. So, my question is like, for independent music artists like us, there needs to be an alliance, because some of these things, these big things like what we want to do, they require like deep pockets. They require like insurance, lawyers, all kinds of things that might extend beyond the resources of any one of us people. Even a person like myself, like I'm very well connected. I know a lot of people, and if somebody I don't know, probably somebody I know knows someone that knows someone. But that's not the same as having a cohesive group of people that's together trying to make something happen. And this is where, a record label used to come in, right? But uh, there's so many things going on there. And in my view, that industry really has crumbled at the edges, and it's just really collapsed. And we're now like the phoenix emerging from the rubble. We're emerging from the ashes, and we're kind of like a transformer, kind of reconstructing, ourself, and becoming something different. And so, what kind of alliance do we need to form so that we can get together and do things like I say, have a stage on Lollapalooza? And for anyone who's listening and they're like, what the hell is that word she's talking about? Lollapalooza is this historic, I say historic, like music concert. It's been happening for a really long time. And it's like many, many stages in this huge open area with many simultaneous concerts and people. It's like a Woodstock kind of situation. And a record label might have a stage. It might be like the Arista stage, or the Future Records has a stage where all the different artists perform on this stage, where you have like kind of a little area kind of thing, and you do your thing there. So I want to do something like that. But imagine for me to have a stage at Lollapalooza, we would probably need to have at least 5 acts at the minimum, 5 acts, it's a group effort for sure. And so this used to be the sole responsibility of the record label to get that space, to get that position, and put their artists in a show like that. But in this time of being an independent artist, nobody's going to stand for an artist and be like, hey, our company just paid all this money for this stage. We know you're not signed to the label, but come on and perform. Not gonna happen. But
Right.
independent artists deserve to those places too. So that's really been my focus. And in the recent weeks, I had to change my offering, like Future Records, right? I first, like, I always knew the tagline of Future Records is, it's the alliance, it's the Onchain alliance for independent artists, like, because I feel like the label situation, uh, I think that whole thing is changing. It should be more like, we're using these labels now as like to help us with PR or something, or marketing and strategy. So I'm very interested, like, to hear your feedbacks, or what are your thoughts? Like, how do you envision yourself performing on these huge stages as an independent artist?
GodCloud.
Yeah, sure.
I got.
Okay.
I got it. If you want me to go, I see it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what it just comes down to, like, making sure all the aces are in their places, and getting organized, saying, hey, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And what's funny is, like, people think about sponsors and they think like, oh shit, we gotta go after like the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis, but there are up and coming companies who are down to help with, just like I think I was telling you, basically how Malas Palabras Records started to build our NFT platform and all that stuff was through this small vodka company called Raka Vodka. Now, people probably haven't heard of Raka Vodka before, but it's a vodka company that was started by Dee Snider from Twisted Sister and another partner, right? and that's who we're working with to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they help with videos and other things too. So it's like we've gone to some bigger, like, like soft drink brands and whatnot too. But our tightest and strongest relationship is with them. So that's kind of the approach that you need to take when you're trying to do stuff like that. It's like you got to find other independents who are trying to come up in other adjacent industries, team up, work together, build together. And that's because now we're basically doing what the labels were doing, but
Yeah.
just ourselves now. Because before it was like really ambiguous. Like, what does a record label do? Like, oh, publishing. Like, well, what does that mean? Like, oh, they've got they sold the rights. Well, what does that mean? A lot of that stuff with the general public didn't know what all that stuff meant. And even something that I always tell people when they're first getting into Web3 is just make 5 to 10 good friends. And when I got in, I brought a dev with me. I brought another visual artist with me. I had a lawyer with me. And we, for our first year in Web3, we were just wrecking shit, yo. We were just doing whatever the fuck we wanted. Because I'm like, boom, we got the fucking team right here. Like, lawyer. Like me, I'm going to go be the muscle and run my fucking mouth over here and get everybody to come check. Like, hey, dev, start developing. Like, yo, JJ, draw some shit up. And we were fucking killing it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But Stilo, I'm eager to hear your input too.
Yeah, so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get there, but I gotta do it like day by day, little by little, and it's gonna take a lot of hard work. Like, we're in a whole new world right now, so I know little by little, day by day, the music, right now is kind of taking the back burner. Like, I haven't really gone to the studio that much. I'm creating here and there, but I'm now creating like systems again. I like to have systems and days where I focus on music, like Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, so that system has helped me get more ritual with it. But like, I plan to pack the digital concerts out and create like a big splash and pack them out so much that even people in LA go to these digital concerts. And if there's like 5, 10 people that are there from LA that'll go to a real concert in LA, I'll throw a real concert. If in or even better, I go to my 5 friends in LA that do music and go, hey dude, I got like 10 people that'll probably come right now. Realistically, if I threw a concert, I could probably not very many, like maybe 20 people in LA would come. I the most I've ever had was 100. And that was like when I was like doing them all the time, and we would throw after parties and stuff, and we even like rented a house in the hills just to throw a party, and it was insane. It was awesome. Got shut down by the cops and everything. It was crazy, but
That's a
um,
success. That's a success. If it
yeah,
doesn't get shut down, you only did a mid party. Your party's only mid if it doesn't get shut
it
down.
was nuts. That's a good story. I even got arrested, or I almost got arrested. I was in handcuffs, like on the street while everyone
You
was like
got
getting out.
detained.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
anyways, but yeah, basically, like, from selling out, from creating this buzz, like even on X right now, like people, we have a nice little group of people from LA, Maxximillian,
Yeah.
with me, you, Polite Boy, Alexander Nuvo, Soda Pop, like us 5 could throw a
CG.
show in three
Yo,
months.
don't even think about this. Wait, let me spice it up. Let me spice it up. I can
DG,
CG, yo, my friend DJ
CG,
Paper, my friend
yep,
DJ Paper, he's
yeah,
amazing. And I mean,
boom,
then there's like, I have other friends who y'all don't even know I know yet because I haven't said nothing, but I have other friends too who would join us. So I
yeah.
feel like, let's just put it like GodCloud, you have to come out. We do this thing. Uh,
And we
you
and we've
know,
done, we've done the groundwork. We've created a presence on social media. Maximilian is all over X. GodCloud is all over X, all over interviews. I've seen for 2, 3 years I've been here. I've seen you guys everywhere. So like we've done the work. It's just about putting it together and then now coming together and going exponential. and like
Yeah.
having a really successful event, get that buzz, get those followers, get that following. And we're smart. We're gonna have QR codes, damn it. We're gonna have USB business cards. We're gonna have whatever it is you need. We're gonna be like super, efficient, and we're gonna maximize it. And guess what? We'll probably stream it into the metaverse too, and stream it into X, and
And get some
etc.
media partners. Yes. And Stilo, going off your idea about incrementals, I'm thinking about this in terms of space as well. Like, I love the idea of having this concert in a private venue in Los
Yeah,
Angeles with like I have and I'm sure you probably know people too, but I can think of like 2 or 3 different friends who they have a professional video team.
yeah,
So we can like do like a beautiful like concert series and just really curate it.
definitely. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I've rented a record like on Peer Space. They have like record studios like that you can rent. I threw an album release party just for myself. Like probably like 100 people came, and I gave it,
Ooh,
and it was free. Free to drink, free to come through. It was in the freaking studio,
that's
and
even better.
but like a real, like the performance was like, where you hang out and wait for people, or like, it's like in this big open space, not in the like recording part, but it's just so cool that, you could easily rent a space, dude, easily throw your own event, and like I did it and it was awesome. But
I love
now
this.
with the power of 10, oh my God, we'll freaking smash that.
Yeah, and I love this idea of doing it at a recording studio. It could even be like we could even do like a
Yeah.
two-part thing where we could uh,
Had
do
a
the recording.
kitchen,
We could do the
everything.
recording of the music and everything live at the recording studio with like, the token gated
Totally.
special people, right? And then we can do the listening party, a live listening party where all the rest of the people is invited. So, that could be
I
like a,
wonder how
yeah.
I wonder how many virtual Zoom tickets I could sell. I'm sure like, maybe like 50 people. Let's just keep them on. Let's say 20 people would buy a $5 ticket to see this Zoom. You know, like when you go see Justin Bieber, you could see him at the arena, super cool, super fun. But like when he did his metaverse concert, his virtual performance, when he was on Zoom with like, like 100 intimate people that paid a lot of money, and he was like, seeing your chat and shouting you out personally, the super fan, it's priceless.
Yeah, and that's what we're working on too with the video streaming thing. And I think I haven't really talked much about
No,
this
but
yet.
I've been dying to hear about it. Don't think
It's
I forgot
coming.
what
Yeah.
you said. I
No,
was
no. And you know what? Like I'm so jealous because Andy's got to test it because they're all, the teams out in LA and whatnot. So in Dope Steel, I'll explain to you a bit. So through like the various partnerships and whatever that the label has like kind of procured. I mentioned the thing with the bank, but they had some other friends that like, hey, we're trying to get this video streaming thing off the ground. We need some help. I'm like, hi, like, what's up? What do you need? So we're helping them iron out the kinks and everything. And, and through that, now we have this partnership. So Andy Vargas, Santana's lead singer, he also does these small intimate shows at this restaurant, or it's like a concert restaurant called the Spaghettini. I think it's in LA. But they actually came down and set up like a full multicam pay-per-view situation for the performances and whatever. And then they did another one in his studio where he was playing with his band and everything. Same deal. So yeah, if you want to get this shit, and it worked. That's the thing. It all fucking worked. And the cool shit with all that is that, and I don't know, yeah, shit. Can I say this part yet? Fuck it. I'm gonna fucking say it. So they've got this other cool thing to where multiple feeds can be added into the main feed, right? So let's say we've got our
Ooh.
camera set up, right? And that's the main setup. But we could also say, hey, if you guys have the enhanced tickets, there's a
Mm,
verification process to where your video link can go into it. It go into the pay-per-view or the into the paid streaming one. So you could have people, maybe only like 5, 10 people, whatever, have the ability
that's
to
so
put their
lit.
stream in with the mainstream too. So yeah, that's what we're cooking up right now, and it all works. It all
Here's an
works. Just got to
idea.
do some more testing of it.
Here's an
Wow.
idea.
Huh.
You know how they have boiler room sets and like the cameras just on the DJ and like that's crazy in there, right? Everyone's packed, everyone's dancing near the DJ, like Fred again, like someone like accidentally hit play and like shut off the music for a second. um but like imagine if you sell that stream and then you sell angles, like okay, like you got the super pass or you got the platinum pass or the super platinum pass, and like the super platinum pass lets you switch from angle A, B, and C. You can see the
Oh,
side and the
nice.
back. Yeah, you can just
Woo!
Yeah.
That's so hot. Wait. Okay, now that has to happen. And I would like to also say we should have a pass for the VIP room. There should be like a little special camera and a little, one of the things I love is like commentary, So what if there's like a little section that's like,
Ooh, what if we hook up the phone to the OBS on the laptop at the studio at the party in the VIP room, and you can input yourself into the VR into AR with your avatar from your desk. You know what I mean? And you could
wait,
see
Hmm.
and
yourself. Like
at the
if you
party.
Oh, like
yeah,
have yourself.
like
Yeah.
you plug in the phone on on AR mode, on like even Spatial does it. And then you send out the room, and this room, like people walk in it, and it's like the feed we're showing them is them walking with us in the room.
No shit.
I've
Yeah.
taken a
Yo,
picture of
let's.
that once. I had like three of my
Yes.
friends from Spatial. I was like, "Yo, I'm at my homie's house." And I went in AR mode, and then I took a screenshot with a selfie, and they were like on my shoulders and shit. Excuse my
Took a
French.
screenshot with a selfie of your AR 3D self somewhere. This is
Yeah.
the future, yo. This is
Yeah,
wild.
this is dope. Yeah, we got to do this. Definitely. Well,
hmm
I'm so excited about this and yeah, this is definitely happening.
Yeah, we should come up
February
with a
is
name.
when you want to do your February is when you want to do your big concert in the metaverse. So just so this would be like what would be like the time? Are we looking at like spring 2025? We looking at
Uh,
spring?
yeah, spring 2025, like 6 months,
April, May?
and
April or May? May?
y- y-
What month?
uh,
April?
February, March. Wait, September, October, November, December, January, February. I was thinking February, but
I mean,
March and April's cool too.
well, I mean, you're doing your big because we talked about in February, you already have your plan of doing something big in the metaverse.
Right, good vibes
So
only.
that
Best.
yeah, so that has to be like we have to give you time for that. We don't want to like pack it too much. So that's why I was saying is,
Oh,
for this live experience that we're talking about, maybe April, May,
that
so that you have
one.
yeah.
Yeah, that one we could. Yeah, that one. That one's. Yeah, May sounds great. March, April, May. May.
May or even June, but
Mhm.
definitely like May or June sounds like the sweet spots.
Mhm.
Whenever I talk to my music friends, music people are the only people I know that really do this, but whenever I talk to my music friends, it's always like, tell me your timeline. I need to know the timeline. They don't want to know any fucking details except for the timeline first.
Right.
Because the details fall in with the timeline. The
Yeah.
timeline will explain the details.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I totally want to do this. I'm very
When
excited about this. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real life event is easier than the metaverse event. So if anything, I'd love to do the metaverse event later and then do like the event around your birthday, you know.
That sounds amazing! Let's go. I'm sure I can get lots of support because guess what?
Mhm.
It's going to be a special
Yeah,
birthday
dude.
for me.
And you DJ, like we'll have different DJs, you DJ,
I will
like,
call my friends. I never
and
ask for
then
favors, but I will this time because
we're
it's my
gonna have
birthday.
like
I'm going to
we're
call
gonna
all my friends.
we'll have it like a mixer where it's just like fun, hanging out, DJs, in the like everyone's in like the living room floor of the DJ, the recreational area, and then we can have like intimate performances after that, where we make an announcement, we make some announcements, we say thank you, and we can keep making announcements like during the event. We could even make little things in between, but definitely like maybe one DJ announcement, another DJ announcement, another DJ announcement, and like just keep resetting the room, and then being like, hey, we're gonna have some really intimate performances, so we'll get the DJs done first, and then when it's more like everyone's kind of tipsy a little bit, then we can have like the intimate performances where you hear the music and everyone's really watching, and then everyone's really cheering you on, and yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. Like it's just the budget, like the alcohol,
Yeah.
like the money, the alcohol, and the space. The space will cost like 600 bucks, and we'll rent it for like 6 hours, 8 hours or something. I
I
rented the last
wonder,
time it was like 300 for like 5 hours, and it was a huge spot. It was awesome.
um, was this like the studio or was this the personal residence?
A studio. I
Okay, because
rented,
this,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
rented a
that's
loft once too, like an empty loft, and it's just all white for like $100. But they don't think they like parties there, so you
yeah,
have to.
that's
They
Uh,
let you know. You know.
yeah.
That's
I
why you
think
gotta.
for sure. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No,
Oh,
you go.
that's why you gotta get like like build like little houses, like the studio looked like a house, but it was like a studio.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking that's really great, and like, just to throw it out there, like I definitely have some DJ friends that I can ask, and some the people I'm thinking about in particular too, I'm thinking about the budget. Um, I have had some conversations with some alcohol distribution companies, and I was really surprised about the low number of people that they required to sponsor. So, like, there's this one sponsor, I won't say their name, but it's like my one of my favorite vodkas. And
Mhm.
I just happened to be like friends with this restaurant owner when they were coming in to share all their wares. And so I asked, I said, how many people would you need to consider, would your company sponsor an event? And she told me only 150 people.
Wow.
So like, and this was a pretty big company. Now it all depends, but I don't imagine that there's a huge disparity for every other company, you know. So it might even be that if we have, if it might be that we might have possibility to get some alcohol sponsors, especially there are like GodCloud was talking about earlier, there are like independently owned alcohol companies that are looking to get out there with people that
Mhm.
really will support them who are interested. Definitely my friends for sure, they prefer and they would love to buy a bottle of vodka from, a small vat rather than something at the store. So,
Yeah.
so
And and
there's that, yeah.
and the intentionality behind it, like, okay, what is the goal once this thing's over? Okay, we all want to cross pollinate, number one. Number two, have enough like maybe funds or revenue somehow that we can throw another one in like another 2 months. And then kind of just keep it doing it every 2 months, and just have that content on social media, like that live stuff mixed with what we're doing, like that'll just bring so much more merit, like it's very rare you see web3 artists make real good music videos or real good live performances
Yeah,
content.
that's true. I think part of that has to do with resources, but you know what? This is another utility that this event also could provide.
Mm,
So like for an
right.
artist, right? So like you're an artist, you've been practicing, you've got your performance perfected. Now you come to our party and we can promise you that you're gonna go home and receive a beautifully edited professional recording of your concert. Like this is priceless because it's like there's a lot that we can
With
do.
people cheering you on and loving you and positive vibes, this.
Yes. Yes, because that's one thing about music videos. It's like, I know people are gonna be, yeah, you can do anything with AI. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But there's nothing that can really replace seeing an artist performing live with an audience and you're seeing the audience's responses and
Yeah,
everything.
dude.
Like as a performer myself, like I've got an incredible imagination. I swear to
And
God, I can be standing totally alone and I can look around the room and you'll
mhm,
think I'm looking at people. I
yeah.
can imagine people I can perform for, but when there's an actual live audience, the synergy in the room is different, and the camera does pick that up.
hmm And we need to solve a problem. Like there's a pain point in live shows, especially in America. People aren't getting involved, they're watching. So we will make announcements before
Yeah.
each artist, and we go, "Hey, this is we're doing some dope content, you guys. Like we'd appreciate the noise, the laughter, the laughs, the screams. Like let's really hype it up." And like if we have to have a freaking sign that says hype 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 and we light it up or something, like we want to make this thing look like it's the place to be, and when you throw the next one, it's like packed. Because I know a friend right now throwing a $30 ticketed event at a restaurant, this weekend on Friday. And I looked at the place. It's called Resident in downtown LA. It's like the new little hotspot for a
Mm.
really cool indie artist. So I'm like, man, I'm
Mm.
like, should I get like 10 of artists and like,
Yeah,
submit to them
yeah.
as a brand and be like, hey, like, can we perform here, and sell tickets? But I don't want that. I don't really like the whole high ticket thing because
Mm.
it's you're giving it to the venue, dude. Like, it's like paying to play. So I'd
Oh,
rather, and you're giving them all this, the sales, and it's not as intimate either. People don't really want to socialize that much. But if it's like this consistent place that people know each other, they feel at home, they're like, what's up? They got to know it. Hey, good seeing you last time, and like that's the culture you want to create, and then and possibly it's free, maybe it's $1, maybe we should make it $1, whatever it is. But I think it's that pain point of like we can't make it like every other freaking show where people just watch. We got to make this like, hey, this is part live show, guys, but this is also part movie set, and we're
I
we're
have
doing we're rocking right now.
I have a solution for this pain point. What if, because like Stilo and I are kind of already doing this. GodCloud, I know you didn't jump into pools, but what if the price is you have to have a certain number of tokens that came from engagement? So like for example, yeah, so like for example, right? I have a token, it's MXXN. It's on Polygon, everyone. And people, these are tokens that can only be earned, right? So like if you follow me, if you retweet my stuff, if you engage with me, like these kinds of things, people get airdrops automatically. If you look in your wallet and you've been following me on chain places, Twitter doesn't give you any points. But if you're following me like on Farcaster, or if you've been reading or collecting my blogs on Paragraph, there's all these different things. You have accrued, some tokens, some of my tokens. So what if, so I got a token, Stilo got a token, GodCloud has like music tokens. So what if it's like all of us artists who are in the show, right? If you want to come to the live performance, you have to own something of ours. Like you have to show proof, street cred that you actually are, you're down with the cause. You bought Bonita, or you've got the GodCloud drip house dropped or
Mm,
whatever like that. So
I
it's
think if you have
but
something,
yeah.
it should be a benefit. Like, because
What do you mean?
we don't want barrier to entry. We want people to just come and have a vibe
Okay,
because
but
we're
let me give
shooting.
you
Yo, you know what?
let me
Oh,
but
Go ahead.
hold
sorry.
on.
Go. Yeah, continue, Max. Yeah, go, go.
Yeah,
Go
let
ahead.
me just unpack. Let me, because I hear you, Stilo. Let me just unpack what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. These
Yes.
engagement tokens don't cost anything. So, like for example, if we hold a Twitter space to announce the announcement, we can make a token available. It could be a POAP that we give to people that come to the Twitter spaces. It's just kind of like I'm saying, what if the currency to get in isn't money? What if it's an engagement token
Right.
that we deliver over the next 6 months that we're talking about this event? Think of how
Right.
many Twitter spaces and how many live streams and how many things. So there's all these opportunities. All we because it's not really about, to me, sometimes
It's a
people
good
throw
one.
these events, yeah, like sometimes people throw these events and they put like a small dollar amount on there just to keep out the riffraff, just to keep the bots out, and that's cool. But if we could go a little further and be like, we want people that actually really want to come to this. So if people have been coming to the Twitter spaces, they should be invited. So that's kind of like where my head was at. Wasn't so much about getting people to buy our NFTs, but it was more about choosing the people, because whether it's a studio or a house, we're going to be very limited into how many people can fit. In addition to all the artists and the celebrities that we have to have there because they're our close personal friends, there's probably only going to be room for 20 to 40 unknown guests. So we have to be careful in terms of we can't just be at first. come first serve. What if the people that been coming to the spaces like all week long don't get an opportunity to come? They're locked out because we only had 30 seats. So that's what I was trying to solve. Go
Right,
for it,
right,
God
right.
Cloud.
I do love.
Here, peep this, right? So, and y'all know me. I'm about to talk about wrestling. I didn't talk about it for the whole show, so I'm about to talk about it now. What WWF or WWE, whatever, I don't want to get sued, but what they've been doing, which I'm like, damn, that is so genius because at every show, everybody's just doing this, right? Everybody's just got their camera phone out, they're filming everything, right? So what they started doing, and I don't know how legit this thing is, but they have the like loud o meter. So now they're gauging how loud the crowds are. And they will state that, like, oh, we were just in Tulsa, they were this loud. Can you guys get this loud? And now the crowds are like, oh, hell, they're like, oh yeah, like let's fucking go. So now they're kind of pitting the audiences against each other with this volumeometer or whatever. And I'm thinking, you're talking about, having the engagement tokens. If there's a way to kind of measure the volume of the crowds and say, hey, you guys were this loud. So if you came, you got an NFT ticket or whatever, scan this thing and it'll add these tokens to your thing. So everybody was only so loud, so they get 5 tokens. But the next time they were really loud, so now everybody gets 10 tokens. And then at the end of every quarter or whatever, now people are like way more invested. But now at the end of every quarter, they can, get an exclusive something or other, or maybe they get a free ticket or something like that. So I think that that's a cool way to kind of tie in the engagement token, but get everybody paying attention live at the things. Because I noticed when you make it a bit competitive, and I'll tell you what, like back when the Hard Knock Life tour, right? It was like Jay-Z, DMX, Redman, Method Man, all them, right? That was like my first like real big concert that my pops took me to, right? And I can remember I think it was Method Man and Redman, but they were like, yo, everybody on this side of the crowd, say fuck everybody on that side of the crowd. And we're like, fuck that, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, now y'all do it. And I'm like, oh my God, they just said F you to me. Like the audacity. So now the whole fucking place is screaming at each other, but it's great visuals for the concert because the whole place is exploding right now. So I think when you add that little element of competition into it, it's gonna make people pay more attention. You're not gonna want to be on your phone because now your fight or flight has been triggered, and hopefully everybody is also fight like me because I'm a conflict junkie. But yeah, I think that'd be something cool to do too. And I don't, obviously, how do we measure that? Have an extra mic, maybe just watch the levels, or maybe just fucking guess. Like, okay, y'all are doing good. I give y'all an 8 today, whatever. But yeah, I think that'd be something cool to keep the crowd engaged, keep them wanting to be more involved rather than just doing this all the fucking time. Because yeah, like
Yeah.
that's just the worst. That shit's like so sad to see, front row full of people and everybody's either doing this or doing this. It's like,
Oh,
yo,
it's the
you're
worst.
at a show.
You're right. It's the worst. And you know what's so funny? So like, I'll be honest with you. I have only have seen one famous person handle this. I thought gracefully, and then I saw a couple things where I was like, like I won't say who it was, but I went to this one concert. One of my idols, okay, one of my idols, and she had a real attitude problem because people were filming her. But it's like you're like one of the most famous, you know, female musicians in the world. Mostly people will never get to lay their eyes on you again. You can't ask people to put down their phone. You know what I mean? People flew, they did the, they spent all this money. You're going to tell people they can't take pictures? Like, what is that? And I understand, like, wanting to create the vibe, but it's really hard, to get people to do that. I saw this other performer, this dude, this rapper, another big icon, he came out too and he told, motherfucker, you need to put your phone down. I don't want to see no phones. If I see your phone, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I get it, but that's not the way. So like GodCloud, your idea of like creating like a reason for people not to be filming is like it's pretty amazing. Here's the thing that I would integrate. This is the thing I saw that I thought was brilliant. I saw this one artist. And what they did is they said, there's this one particular song where I want everyone to take out your phone and get this really good recording. They actually asked everyone to take out their phone and make a good recording. If we do that right at the beginning, people can get their videos and get their pictures and get it out of their system. That's very, it's like, to make your video, give people time, post your shit, whatever. Now, when the song was over, the singer said, "All right, everyone, you got your video. Now it's personal time. Let's get into the intimate shit." And they didn't even have to say anything about don't take out your phone. They didn't have to say any of that because people already felt satisfied. They already got their grail shots or whatever during that whole first song. And then it was just like a vibe. And I said, "Oh my God, that shit really worked well."
That's smart. That's smart. And I think that doing something too to get the social engaged is like, yo, get a picture of me doing this. Like yo, peace sign. And that whoever posts that picture, it's it proves they were paying attention. And maybe award them something or say, hey, you'll end up in the story. Like, yo, I'll share you in my story or whatever. You'll be used there. This pic might be used in promo for the next something or other. But let's do this now. And that makes that moment worth more than any other moment. Because it's like, yeah, I caught homie doing the thing. Like you just got him doing whatever the fuck. Like, who cares? Like I was on it. When he said that, I did that, like fuck your little thing right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
it's funny how we
exactly.
have to figure out different clever ways to like combat this like attention sucking device that we use it for so much things. Don't be upset, phone. I love you. You're the best little
You know
phone I
what?
ever
How
had.
about this? God, God. How about say we're figuring out ways to leverage this.
Leverage. That's right. Yes, we're gonna leverage you, buddy. It's all right. Let's come back to my phone here. But yeah, and I think that's all part of it. Just like how what do they say in traditional music industry? It's like 5 weeks to drop a single or 4 weeks, something like that, right? Five,
I
four
thought
weeks
it
to
was
drop a
6 weeks.
single.
I don't know, man.
I heard it was 4 because I always would say, I thought it was 5 because I would always say if you're gonna take the 5 weeks, if you're integrating Web3 into it, add another week for that. But this is just other stuff we have to consider now too. And I think the one artist you were talking about, the OG guy, if you don't want to say his name, that's fine too. But I've had
You gonna say it? It's
if
okay. I just don't want to
are,
imagine.
are
Maybe
you
you can talk about.
are you talking about Busta?
I
Busta,
agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yo, he Bust, yo. I don't know if he remembers, but I was trying. I thought I was helping him out, but I thought he was gonna kill me. Everybody's like, "Yo, what'd you do to him?" I'm like, "Nothing. I don't
Tell
know
us
him.
the
I just
story.
want him."
You got to tell us the
But
Busta story now. Tell us what did you do?
okay,
How'd you get on?
there's
How'd you get in trouble
it's
with Busta?
so it's like it's like 3 stories. It's like 3 stories that it starts at NFT NYC and ends at Art Basel. But
You met
we
Busta Rhymes at NFT NYC.
and in Art Basel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Several times. But so somebody that I helped out with some NFT stuff, he was one of the producers for WorldStar, right? So a lot of the videos on WorldStar, he would shoot a lot of the videos for. He's like, really, real popular videographer guy. But this is when Arts was throwing that party at the Quad in NYC, right? So a couple of us sponsored the event, whatever. And I was performing, I was doing my thing, and everybody was like secondhand, like smoking around me, and I hadn't smoked nothing in forever. So all the secondhand smoke was kicking my ass. And fast forward, I'm meeting somebody downstairs at the Quad. The elevator was jammed up. It's like 1,000 fucking floors. I run all the way down. I'm secondhand high. I'm out of breath, and all of a sudden, elevator opens up and fucking Busta and his security guard. Now I'm a tall motherfucker. I'm like 6'5", right? This dude is like this much taller than me. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, yo, like everybody get out of the way. Because it was fucking packed, right? I'm thinking, hey, I'm helping you out. Because people are gonna be like, oh shit, it's Busta Rhymes. I don't want you getting swarmed at a party that's got my fucking name on the banner. And I don't know why he did. Like he just looked at me like just gave me the death stare, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, salute, OG. Like what the fuck? Like I'm trying to help you get through the hallway. I'm like, all right. So I back up, and everybody starts whipping their phones out, right, and they're filming them, and I'm standing there like, huh, well. fuck it, let me get some footy too. So I'm filming, and Buster goes, "Hey, y'all quit recording me. Matter of fact, I don't want to be recorded. Security, take his phone." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Security comes over, takes the guy in front of me's phone, deletes the shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like people recording me, this and that, da 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 da." And I'm like, "Yo, like, sorry, but have a good night." He leaves. Fast forward, Art Basel, right? I'm backstage, he's performing, and I'm like creeping my way up. So I'm like on stage chilling, he's doing this thing, and I learned my lesson. But one of my buddies, right, for whatever reason, gets like after Busta's done performing, he gets like right up in his face with his phone and is like looking at
Oh
Busta, looking at the phone, and Busta still got the microphone, and I'm like, bro, mm-mm, mm-mm, bro, stop. He's like, this your man's. I'm like,
no.
no, yeah, kinda, but put your phone away. And Busta on microphone goes, "You see, this is the problem with this generation. Y'all are off camera crackheads." I'm
Yeah.
like, yikes. So those are my two interactions with Busta. And I was like, you know what? I'm never bringing a phone around him. If I see him again, no phones, nothing. But when I saw that shit of him flipping out, I'm like, you know what? This probably all started back in fucking New York.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Craziness.
hilarious. The truth is, GodCloud, that's exactly who I was thinking of. I think it's crazy that out of all the people that you knew exactly who I was talking about. But yeah, and it's funny to me because it's like before anyone's famous, it's like, you're dreaming about the day that people want to take pictures of you and stuff. But it's interesting. But it's like I don't think that it has anything to do with people being funny style. It's just that as a performer, when you look out and see all those phones, it feels very soulless and it's not a good
Hmm.
experience for the artist at all. And I think a lot of times, as consumers, consumers of music, especially in live experiences, I think a lot of times as consumers, now it's different for me. I'm just going to exclude myself because I'm an artist and I'm always an artist. I'm always thinking of other artists. When I go to a show, I'm still got my artist hat on, and I'm never really fully a consumer. I'm always the friend of the artist in my mind, even if I don't know the artist. I'm always thinking about my role as a participant in their event because
Right.
I can't separate what I know from my activities and my attitude and the way that I carry myself. So I exclude myself from this, but I want to just acknowledge, like, most consumers, they don't think at all, or most music consumers in a live experience, they don't think at all about the experience of the performer because and I've heard this, it's like they paid their money, their focus is completely on their own experience, as it should be. So I feel like it's very much our job to guide them, and to guide them in a way that feels friendly and that feels appropriate. And so, like, GodCloud, like, your idea of creating a reason to put the phone away, like, to the loudness contest, like, that's amazing. And Stilo, like, the other things that we talked about, like how to create engagement during
Mhm.
the show, whether it's giving people an opportunity to get those really good photos on a particular song or some other way. I think these things are really important because it's all about vibes. And especially when someone is like, when we're talking about music, we're talking about art, this is all about vibes. And sometimes music, it really does save people's lives. And we want to create an experience that complements the love that we're trying to share and that doesn't diminish, our fans for not knowing the etiquette.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel
Well,
you on
guys,
that.
it's been such an amazing talk today. I feel like we're way over time. I know you guys probably both have a lot to do, but before we go, I want to give you time, give you the floor to, share whatever, if there's something you wanted to talk about or bring up before we close it out.
I just want to say thank you for having me. It's great to be here with you guys. It's great to be here, just building in public. Big believer in that. And yeah, guys, stay tuned. Let's see you next week and see what else we got going on, and we'll be updating you. Follow me on Twitter, Dope Stilo, on all socials. Thank you.
Word up. Yeah, and thanks again. Thanks for having me as well with everybody. Go to godcloud.org for all the stuff. Sample packs. Sample packs ain't free no more. They was free for a while, but now they're still discounted. I still got my updated personal favorite Cloud 9 drum kit. Just updated it. Got some disgusting bass 808s in there. Um, so if you guys want to get that, the auto heart pack is $5 now, but it still is as gorgeous as fucking ever. I love that auto heart pack that I made. It's really fly. So you go get that stuff. GodCloud on Doomsday, my latest EP, which I dropped on Record Shop, which is not there anymore, is going to be exclusively on godcloud.org. So everything's coming there. GodCloud on Drip stuff there, and my what else do I got? Yeah, a bunch of other tech shit coming too. And if you guys need help with financial structuring of your businesses, hit me up as well because I'm in the banking now. But yes, all of that. Much love. Peace.
Amazing, amazing. God Cloud, I'm going to be hollering at you about that for show, for show. Well, friends, my name is Maxximillian, and I think you know where to find me. But let me say, I'm really looking forward to these new drops I have coming. I don't know if you've seen, but I've recently embraced this Pepe meme. I'm having a really good time with it, and I I look forward to sharing it with you. I'll be releasing the drop later today. I was going to do it yesterday, but today is just as good. But I'm looking forward to sharing these things with you. So please definitely give me a follow on the social media places that you love. They're all linked here in the YouTube video, and join us back next Friday. I look forward to seeing you. I have a private Telegram group that you can join, especially if you are a musician. You want to join probably the Future Records Telegram, because that's where I share all my music stuff. But just connect with me anywhere, and I'll lead you to the right place. I want to thank you for spending time with us. And if you've been listening to this broadcast and you want to contribute to anything that you hear us doing, don't be afraid to reach out. We're friendly, we're here, and we're all about community and collaboration. So thank you so much for joining us, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're with us today. So come on, join the cabal!